Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Miyoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. Japan, where we have the new, not yet, not officially yet, but we have elected our new prime minister. Ah! Oh my gosh. Oh, I see some comments. 最初. First comment. Thank you for coming. おはようございます。One and all. Thank you. おはよう。おはよう。How are you guys doing? Man, what Japan is going through is such a shock that we never thought that the man Shigeru Ishiba would be our prime minister. He was like, he's been there like for such a long time in LDP. He's a famous guy, he used to get on TV, like a debate show and so on. And growing up, I used to see him on the TV show that my dad was watching. So I knew of him. But he was the enemy of Shinzo Abe. And also he was apart from the mainstream power inside LDP. So I never would I didn't think that he would be the prime minister. And Napoleon is here. Guten Tag, danke. How are you? How do you say that? I forgot. But yeah, I didn't think that he would have been that. So we just picked we picked the new leader of LDP, our governing party, the main governing party. So what that means is that he is going to be our prime minister. And what's probably crazy about it for you guys is that I didn't vote because I'm not registered in the party. I'm not registered as LDP. I'm not registered to any party because I do all these political activities and I talk to lots of different politicians, like in various parties, So I moderately support LDP, but we are working on an individual level rather. So I don't support like LDP, So only those who have been the LDP member can vote. And so like laws and or whatsoever don't matter. It's about their rule that they've made inside their party, and they do it accordingly. But of course, we are the nation of rule of law. So like as you can see, in probably in their live streams and so on, that they will show their box, and people like our national diet members would have to vote, and you can't see each one, but they put in the box, and then before putting in the box, so like they make sure like, oh, there's nothing in the box, no magic is gonna happen. So they make sure that it's done in a clean way and so forth. So yeah. But the voting system, though, as I might have explained to you before, it had two levels. Usually, or like recent years, I guess, like the one with Abe too, they had to go to the next level. But it has two phases ready. And in the first phase is where you can decide the leader there too. But since there were many candidates this time, especially after Kishida got rid of the faction system, after the assassination of Shinzo Abe, they're stupid. They're listening to what the suspect is insisting, and we shouldn't do that. But that's the atmosphere in Japan, and they just gave into the basically they bashed LDP's faction and so on for for like a money problem, and so they got rid of the system basically, for the most part. And yeah, so no factions, and their leaders, candidates for the leader, and each has to have 20 national Dai members on their side to enter to in the race. Oh, super chat! Thank you, Yoko tax. Yes, thank you. The only tax that you need. Thank you, thank you so much. This makes me happy. I wish I could fly. Where's Bird Up? Oh, I see Bird Up. Thank you, Mesasone. Am I reading it right? Thank you. Thank you so much. So good to start today's Yoko tax race. Each one has to pay Yoko tax. But yeah, so anyway, so first phase, after they got entered, they have to, so on the voting day, they ask the entire entire members, LGBT members throughout Japan, and they're having a little election places in Japan, right? So the party members have to vote, and then National Dai members vote too, and they have a special ratio to reflect the voices. And then it wasn't, nobody got the majority, so the top two went to the next phase to compete. It's the top two that competed. Oh, super job, Bird Up. Thank you today too. Thank you so much. Now that there's a new prime minister, the Yoko taxes increasing? Perhaps we need to consider the cost and income. We need a good balance. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. So yeah. Anyway. So then so after the first voting ended and we saw the numbers, Takaichi was number one, I think. And Takaichi, the female, very conservative, very popular among, like, she is supported by those who were supporting Shinzo Abe, like especially like internet right wings love her. And so are the conservative magazines and so on too. And I myself, what I'm a supporter of her, yet the supporters are a little nasty. Like they're so passionate that they were attacking other candidates and so forth. And we have all this like internal discussions, debate about it. But anyway, so Takaichi was doing well. So we all thought that she would win. You know, she's a female. And Ishiba, our new guy, is really like, you can see him. He's like, you could see that what we are talking about in the picture that you probably see of Ishiba. Like he has this really dark like no facial expression, just so negative and like very Asian eyes and in a bad way, and like staring at you. And he speaks really slowly, and we don't know what he means in the end. And we're like, speak faster is what we were saying. But yeah. And so like when you compare the very negative, nerdy, I'm not saying this. This is a public opinion. Very dark, negative, like very critical, nerd men that is old compared to Sanae Takaichi, who is very, very opinionated but expert on policies, female, and very down to earth. Very hardcore when it comes to music and expression. And like she wants the the politician that she admires is Margaret Thatcher, and so all the good things, right? So when you compare the two, and especially Takaichi is a lone wolf, and Ishiba was outside of the mainstream power inside LDP. So when we compare the two, we thought that Takaichi would win, and she made a speech to the voters there. The National Diet members were gathering in the same place, and they were voting together. But in the second time, the voters are there, so like both Takaichi and Ishiba were telling the politicians, their colleagues to vote for me. That's the final speech was made. But Takaichi's speech was rather like, oh, I won already kind of vibe. So we all saw that, and kind of some people took it in a very weird way, like a cringe kind of way. And I myself was confused too, like what is this speech, And Ishiba made a good one, kind of apologizing, I guess, like apologetic gesture, like I'm not perfect and blah blah blah. So like because he have turned on many people, like he has betrayed many people before. So but he was, what's the expression? Like he is taking the responsibility in a way by referring to it, like acknowledging his mistakes and so on. And there were some National Diet members that were still indecisive towards the end, because they post on Twitter, post on X, so we can see what they were thinking, right? And so she could have won, but you can see the reaction of me and my husband, because I was filming myself. I was ready to exclaim with happiness, to elect the first female prime minister. Didn't happen. We're like, oh my gosh, what did just happen, Yeah. But Ishiba, many people were complaining to him already, like conservative people were complaining to him or criticizing him. But to be honest, like I don't exactly know what he's thinking. Like we all heard what he said in the debate, but I don't know. Like now he is picking people to to establish his cabinet, like we know the most of the members now, and judging from the members, it's very well balanced. The problem that I see though is the very significant roles, our defense minister and foreign minister, right? And those two, the defense minister is somebody that used to work for self-defense forces, and he's supposed to be very specialized, and he should know the reality especially in East Asia. But he's a good guy and very soft. He was really passionate about human rights violation oppression by CCP, and he has helped us a lot too. But when it comes to defense, which is supposed to be his specialty, we don't have a good impression. We don't have a good impression, so I'm worried about it. And also, new foreign minister, um, he is he like we saw the news that he received money from a Chinese company like, while he was the defense minister. So I'm like, you know, I don't know. He's denying that, like I didn't get the money. But it's the fact that he was caught in that way itself is like skeptical enough. I don't know what happened to that incident, but so like judging from that, we believe that he is pro China. So. And I have no idea. So our new prime minister, the biggest thing that he is saying is that he wants to establish a Asia version of NATO, which is a good vision, right? But I heard that 10 years ago, right? Today, can you actually make that framework rapidly enough? And he's also saying that he wants to include China. Like, what is it for? So stupid. Oh, Yaka tax. Thank you. Sorry, I keep speaking. I should read your comments. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, yes. Maybe the more super chat, maybe I will be more talkative and hyper. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to me. Seriously. Seriously, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I also saw the news about Zelensky and Trump meeting, but I will talk about it later. I want to talk about this too. This is Friday's newspaper, but before that, let me check your comments. How bad is it? People are treating this like it's the end of Japan, yeah. And then again, some conservatives take every setback as the end of everything. You are getting it right. No, seriously? Like Japan, we survived the time that America had Obama. We're surviving this time with Biden. And somehow, right? Like we are barely breathing, but and we had a time period when our Democratic Party had power. They were in power. We call it the darkest 3 years of Japan, and yeah, but we survived, right? Like the democratic system is just goes right from left, or like it just swings, and it's not stable. And we try to balance things out in the meantime, but like one thing goes out of hand, but we can always, shift it back to normal and that sort of stuff. So I'm not too worried about it, right? And LDP is LDP. Like now, the leader changed, but it's still LDP. And what's unique about LDP is that it is such a big party that inside the party there are lots of specialized group in a way. Like it's not specialized, what you call like a according to the department, in like a genre, like a defense group, and what's a like economy group, and they have a gathering together and talk about their policies, and it's like itself is like a national diet. They have to decide their like party policies, and they talk it out inside the party aggressively. And they have that system, they talk it out, they decide, with a vote, so they have democratic system there. So like even though Ishiba is a new face, doesn't mean that he can dictate, but that's why right now he is appointing like who goes where, in the cabinet, and also together with the LDP party side as well. Like he is appointing the party, like who is in charge of the election and this and that. So that's important, right? Because that's the system of LDP in his term. So yeah. Oh, do I see a super chat? Oh, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is a duty of every weeb and otaku to pay the Yoko tax. Yes, exactly. Man, I should screenshot that and like put it in my stream. Supporting Yoko is supporting Japan's future. Exactly. Because I am not a politician, but because of that, I am free and I state my opinion freely. And also, I went to Taiwan. I've been to India, South Korea, speaking the Japanese perspective, and also listening to what other people in other countries are saying. And so, even though I'm not a politician, I'm working on a non-governmental level, and I you know, it's weird when you say yourself, but like I'm proud of what I do, and I'm really I believe what I'm doing is important for my country. So, another super chat, right? And son, thank you to the best show on YouTube, the Random Yoko Show. Thank you so much. That gives me confidence. Thank you. Burn up, son. Thank you again. How will Ishiba react to Kamala's awkward laughing? He doesn't seem to. He doesn't seem like he is full of giggle. Oh man, I want to see that. Even though personally, I want Trump to win, but I would be very curious to see the two together. Kamala Harris with Shigeru Ishiba. Like Kamala would be, and next to her, he's like, just, that's his, like, he has this resting face, all the time. Sometimes when I see his smile, sometimes I'm like, wow, this guy smiles. you know Japanese people, like, I am weird. From when I was very little, I used to make stupid faces because my mom also does, like, very expressionate, like, express she makes a lot of expressions, and I copied her, and I can move my muscles, right? But not everybody here. Most of the people here, they hide their feelings, they hide their facial expressions, and Ishiba is extremely good at it. He has a straight poker face all the time. So, yeah, the contrast would be very, very. It would be so cringe. I want to see that. Interesting. And what I'm worried about actually is that now that we know that our prime minister will be Shigeru Ishiba, what about America? Or I mean, the majority of you are supporting Donald Trump. Let's say that Trump wins and meet our new guy, Ishiba. But the first question I think that Trump would think of is probably that, were you good friends with my guy, Shinzo Abe? And the answer is no. So it is said, like, we hear stories about Trump and Abe friendship, right? And we hear that Trump was even like asking for advice when it, like, aside from Japan US alliance, like, on what he is doing. Like, sometimes he would call Abe to ask for advice, and that's what we hear. I don't know if it's true, but that's the rumor here. So that's, like, Trump and Abe was so close, but Abe and Ishiba were really, really bad. So Trump trusts Abe. And when Ishiba comes, how is Trump gonna react? That's one concern, right? I mean, I know that Trump is very experienced when it comes to, meeting people and, like, acknowledging the new leaders and so on. But I'm a little worried because I don't think that they have anything in common. Maybe golf. I don't know. Does Ishiba play golf? I wonder, because he should practice right now to go to the golf course with Trump, where politics happen. But anyway, thank you so much, guys, for coming. Good Sunday, Yoko. I'm a bit nervous about Shigeru Ishiba. Yeah, we all are. Because it's like, we have no idea, like, because he was treated like, um in a, like, he was put in a corner inside LDP, because of his behavior, though. Like, he was critical to everyone all the time, so people hated him. Right? But so now we are wondering, is he gonna revenge? you know but judging from the cabinet members right now, it's not that bad. So, Yeah. Yoko-san, konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Hey, Yoko. Hello. I wanted Takaichi. Yeah. Like, I really wanted to see. Like, I was a little. It's hard to say what to say. So, inside the conservative side, too, it was actually divided over Takaichi. Not because of herself, but because her supporters are aggressive. And we have another self-claimed party called Japan Conservative Party. But conservative in name only, in my opinion. They just talk and talk and talk and does nothing. Do nothing. But that's the party. Like these two old people, established this party, like conservative party, and of course different from LDP. But this conservative, like self-claimed conservative party supports Sanae Takaichi. They did at the beginning, right? And it's weird because if they support Takaichi, then they should support LDP. But somehow they established this new group claiming that it's a party, political party, and supporting Takaichi. And then the supporter of this party is really, really aggressive, and they just criticize everything and attack everybody aside from what they believe in. And so when they were having the election, they were attacking other candidates and the supporters and everything, and they were causing all these troubles. And we can't ignore that because the supporter of this conservative party, there are some like a famous critic or former journalist, that used to work for this big media company and so on. And so like famous people are there, and they were creating this campaign to attack Kishida for not being conservative enough and calling him like a name calling him, like in a very nasty way, and just labeling him with the things that he is not doing and so on, like boosting the tax and also just bad. I don't know. It's just it was not even a political criticism. Just talking stuff at him, and so it's a negative campaign against Kishida, and that actually affected Kishida administration. So of course, like Kishida and those people support Takaichi, so Kishida doesn't feel good about that, right? So the final when final voting happened, of course, Kishida voted for Ishiba, like his people too. So, anyway, thank you for the super chat. Maybe Trump and Ishiba will just stare at each other silently. I can actually picture that. That would be interesting. They'll be just sitting, like remember I don't know which place that is, but bless you. When Trump at the beginning, like he was not very used to being a politician yet at the time, but Trump shook hands with Abe for like 14 seconds or something, like for a really long time, like shaking. Right? Like they shook hands for a long time, and at the end, Abe was like, "Oh." Like, oh, that was a long handshake, and his expression became a meme and so on. But in the seats, probably Trump and Ishiba can be like, I want to see that. Just to feel the cringe moment. Anyway, let's see. It's the best live on YouTube, the Random Yoko Show. Yes. Kishida to Ishiba. I'm for Ukraine, but Zelensky is very corrupt. I mean, not every country is perfect, right? But the thing is, it's so. Let's say that right now, the Taiwan's leader is Taiwan's president is really good, William Lai, right? He's very good, but let's say, as an example, that he is corrupt. He's not, but let's say that he is. Just because he is corrupt, would you actually attack him instead of China? China that is trying to take over Taiwan, probably the Taiwan emergency will happen. We just don't know when, right? Let's say that it happens and Taiwan, goes into the defense and they fight China. And when they're having the war, let's say that you find problems in Lai, the president of Taiwan, would you attack him in the middle of the war against China? Seriously, like you wouldn't do that. Like whatever problem he has, we are in the war right now and we are on the side of Taiwan, so we're gonna fight with them against China. And that's the picture, right? Same for Russia. Putin is there. He's the aggressor. So whatever problem that you see with war, like if you want the war to end, stop Putin. Same for China. If you don't want emergency, stop China. Stop Xi Jinping. All right? That's so simple. So freaking simple. But people are like, oh, corruption and blah, blah, blah. And they make things complicated. Like if you really don't want to, if you don't want your money to go to Ukraine or whatsoever, stop Putin. Period. Right? And I don't know why people are not taking it like that. I've seen news coverage about the influencers on the right side of the US, those who were receiving money from Russia. They didn't know. I'm like, oh, very naive, You gotta be careful. Like Russia and China are really, really good at information war. So, like, of course, like you can have preferences. Of course, like I will respect that. But it's, yeah, we gotta see we need to separate our personal impression and so on aside from what we should do politically, right? Like I don't like I'm human. So, or am I? I'm supposed to be human and I have preferences myself. Like I like some people, I don't like other people, right? But even if I don't like some people, I still, work with them. I actually can because I'm an adult, you know? Let's see. Ishiba is honorable person. Is he Christian nationalism or something? Oh yeah, I've read that he is Christian. Let's see. Ishiba Shigeru Kiristokyō. Oh, he's a fourth generation Christian, it says. Like there's a Christian newspaper. Let's see. Interesting. It does. I don't know what this is. What is this church? Is it like which type though? 日本キリスト教団鳥取教会 which is like Protestant or Catholic? Protestant. My husband says it's Protestant. Just from the name. Yeah, but I never sensed the Christian side of him. Taro Aso too, our former prime minister, and also, the very, like, he's always wearing a cool hat. He looks like a gentleman. Taro Aso, He's a Christian too. Oh yeah, Abe's wife too. Many Christians. But Christian population is very, very low in Japan, just so you know. So it's interesting that those people, climb up the ladder. Let's see. Oh, super chat! I see super chat. Did you hear that Assassin's Creed Shadows got delayed to February? That's Black History Month in America. Oh, so then criticizing the game would be super double racist or something. Wow, really strategic. That's awful. That is so awful. Man. Oh man. I feel like this is becoming like on a national level, and our foreign ministry should do something about it. When it comes to like information war and also like Japan's reputation internationally, the global reputation, we built so-called Japan House, where we tell people like Japan's perspective and Japan's information, like we provide good information. And it is located in California somewhere. Is it San Diego? I don't remember. But somewhere in California. And they are supposed to do the job. And I don't think that they are doing, because obviously we have problems like this. Like it usually when we make a new organization or institute, with the help of the government, usually it goes to leftists. Because the problem of Japan, in my opinion, is that after we lost the war, our like nationalistic people were purged, like literally purged. Like we had at least like 200,000 officials were purged. That's a historical fact. And so what that means is that those who remained in the system are naturally leftist or centralist, right? Like not conservative, not patriotic. Those people survived in the system. So they became like intelligentsia, right? Like intellectual people, just like in your country, like in America. I believe that the teachers union and also just professors in general, they are left biased, right? Same here as a result. um so what happens is that those who try to fight them, like myself, like conservative people or people on the right side, are usually not as educated or not as intelligent. Not back in the day, like for example, Yukio Mishima. He was really like extremely smart. He read so many books. He wrote books, and he has so much. Like he was very very sophisticated, and he was able to talk to he was on the same level or higher than leftists, and he was debating leftists at the time who were really intelligent too, right? So they had this high level talks. But today, left wings, they are still in the system, like professors, media people, or even in bureaucracy. They're really like a high level in society. They are left people are strong. But over here, like conservative people, we don't have such social status, and we are not as trained like the leftists. Lawyers too, leftists. The majority of lawyers here are leftists. So what that means is we are not actually as smart, like when it comes to you know knowing the society with like like a legal system and so on, or educational level, like our sophistication level is not, unfortunately, as high as left people. But now, though, at least our society is becoming a little more, becoming more like policy wise. I believe that they are more leaning to conservative side, but because the media is left biased. So, for example, when we talk about same-sex marriage uh, or like keeping the like keeping the name of I'm gonna sneeze. Keeping the name of female when they get married and so on. So we call it like marriage but same surnames. Man, I wanna sneeze. Yeah. So by the way, in Japan, when you sneeze, it's said traditionally that somebody is making a rumor about you, like somebody is talking about you. Maybe you guys are talking about me right now behind the screen. But yeah, let's look at the comments. Christian nationalism is an American ideology. Japan, it's just like 3 to 5% Christian, right? In Asia, Philippines and South Korea are most Christian. Yeah, South Korea, it's really, but it's their version of Christianity, though. It's not really, judging from what I see here in Japan, they're not like they have their own system and own values. Sometimes the group leader is the like a self-claimed prophet. Is it prophet? Like somebody that's connected divine in a divine way, whatever. Yeah, but actually, who assassinated Shinzo Abe? The guy, what he says is that I don't like the justification, but he says that he was the second generation of this religious group that his mom was in. And the religious group is actually from South Korea. And it is spreading, and that even though they don't get money take money from Korean people, they were taking money from Japanese people. And thus the guy that killed Abe, he had a hard time growing up, because his mom was using money for the religion. And even though he wanted to kill the group leader, it was difficult, and it was rather more easier to kill Abe to cause this controversy. So that's what he did. It doesn't add up to me. That storyline doesn't add up to me. But what I'm trying to say is that, it's originating in South Korea, and it's a Christian. I think it's Christian base, right? Like I'm not even curious of the group, so I'm not really. I don't really know. Oh, by the way, did you guys see the huge Trump doll in the middle of the city in Tokyo? The group that is doing that is called Sanctuary, and it's another religious group here. They departed from the religious group that it's another group that was born from the big religion. And yeah. So that sort of thing. So that's why they don't get there are many people that don't see positively about it. I heard Trump is fluent in Japan. No. In Japanese, I don't think so. Oh, super chat. Thank you. Bird up, bird up, bird up. Here, if you hear sudden ringing in your ears, it means you're being gossiped about. Oh, really? Or you just came out of an Iron Maiden show. That's funny. That is really funny. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's interesting. But what's interesting about Western spiritual talks is that I hear that when you hear the ringing, it's your ancestors, or like what you call it's not ancestors, your guys, like spirits spirit guides, right? Spirit guides are talking to you, but it's in such a high vibration that you can't hear. That's what I hear from like what you call it, like just spiritual people in Western countries like America or Europe. That's what I hear. But I didn't know about the being gossiped about. Man, yeah, man, I haven't been to concert in such a long time. But I've only been to a couple, because I like American bands most of the time. And it's not all bands come here. I've been to when I was young, like when I was in high school, I went to Limp Bizkit. That was my first show that I went to with my friend. The same friend asked me to go to the concert of the Offspring too. When I was 16, I went there. Right. And when I was in university, I was asked to go to Stone Sour concert. Corey Taylor from Slipknot. He's a vocalist of Slipknot, but he is also singing for Stone Sour, which is his original band. And I've been to Stone Sour concert in Osaka because I was living in Osaka for university. Yeah, and I took a picture with them too. Yeah, good times. I love Corey Taylor. He's his voice is just so good. His speaking voice, I can listen to him speak, no matter what stupidity he could talk about. I would just listen. I don't know his political ideology though, but even if he's a leftist, I could listen to him. Anyway. What of abolishing or editing Article 9 of the Constitution to allow more countries to collaborate with Japan? The world needs a new anti-communist alliance now. Let's work together. The thing is, we are already working together. So that's why many Japanese people are reacting to Ishiba's like Asian NATO idea with a weird impression. Because we already have the common, it's common with the US and Western nations. We have a free Indo-Pacific strategy, free and open Indo-Pacific strategy. And we also have we have Quad. We just had a meeting in New York, I believe. And also, was it in New York? Yeah, somewhere in America. And also you guys have AUKUS and what else? There are many framework, even economically too. Biden made something. And also we have TPP. And like economically and also national security wise, we have like a lot of like bilateral or like there are four to five countries or so, like we have a group together and we work together, right? So that's working. So it's probably like if we are to do anything, that's probably the extension of that or something similar to that. And when it comes to NATO, what Ishiba is saying, it would like it's easy for example, South Korea. South Korea's enemy is North Korea, right? And China is becoming a threat as well. And now they are working with us and also with the US. And like they are on our side now, so which is a good thing. But when it comes to like East Asian countries, for example, when we talk about Asia, East Asian, Southeast and Southeast Asian countries and so on are included as well. But those countries are very vague, in the so-called global South too. that China's power is very influential, and those small countries want to survive by going back and forth between our side and Chinese side, the authoritarian side. Like they are in the middle and they are trying to survive, right? That's their tactic. And if we tell them to join our side for national security, that's the best scenario for us. But what about their actual, like, everyday living? Because they don't want to become the enemy of China. They can be crushed in a day by China, and they don't want to, create an enemy. Especially if they can receive money, they would. So we have to think of, like, not every country is like our countries. So we have to think about small nations, too. And so it's easy to think about, and it's important to have a ground strategy, of course. But yeah, we gotta be careful too. Let's see. People don't really understand the difference between the conservative brand of politics and conservative philosophy. There's some overlap, but they aren't the same thing. Yeah, that's true. The problem here is that people don't understand the difference between right wing and conservative. Something that I've been struggling all along. When I first, came into a political field, I became an activist and so on. But at first, I didn't really know anything, because that's like in Japan, we are not told. We are told not to have opinions, basically. That's our culture. So like we just have to, do what others are doing. That's the good thing in Japan. And we are not opinionated. We don't practice debate in school, and we just, be the same. And so I didn't know about politics, at all. Like I was watching the news, but I didn't really understand. But about 10 years ago, I came to, it's already like 12 years ago. Wow, time flies. Yeah, one day I'm like, I got interested in politics. I began posting videos on YouTube about politics. And, here I am. But at first, you know, back then, the time was different, and it was the fight of right versus left. And so I was just on the right side, and I guess I was becoming like a right wing biased person. And then I met my husband, who was truly conservative. So he began to show me facts, and the right way to think about things, like with a balanced way. He's what you call, is it I know this is silly, but yeah, Libra. He's a Libra. So like he knows how to balance things. It's so interesting how he lives every day, and also how he thinks about politics, because he is such an objective guy, and he can put aside his emotion and just look at things objectively and balance things out. Try to balance things out. So yeah, it's good, but okay. Cults, Korean cults. Yeah. Korean cult went to the US and divided into two sectors. Oh, yeah. The one of them came here, so yeah. Sanctuary is political group from Moonies Unification Church. Yeah, 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 yeah. So they were carrying the big Trump doll. I don't know how they made it. I'm impressed by that. I did like the doll, but the people that are doing it, like I saw the familiar faces, they are good people though. So that's that's a tricky part. They're good people, but very, because they have this religious background, they're very passionate, and also very, and like what you call, like they're so serious, in a good way. And a lot of internet right-wing people here should learn from them in a way that instead of being online, I mean, I'm online right now, but they need to take actions, Yoko, did you see the Tokyo Game Show? I did. I mean, in a newspaper. Was it this newspaper? I want to talk about this though, but was it this? Sorry, it's the probably self-defense force thing, or maybe just a normal plane too. It's so loud here because we have a airport in that direction, and like they changed the direction. Like when planes fly to our airport here, they changed the direction like above my head. So, and also there's a base over there, self-defense force base too. So like it's real loud, really loud. Tokyo Game Show is on a newspaper. Tokyo Game Show. Oh my gosh, they wrote usually show, but it's like show started. And overseas exhibition surpassed the majority. I mean, like surpassed the half. I mean, this was an interesting article, actually. Yeah. So what's interesting about this, what I thought was interesting about this is that our economic, what is this name in English? I don't know. Wait for me. Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. Trade. They put trade. I didn't know that. So that ministry is seeing the potential of this genre, like gaming and so on. So gaming, music, and other like content-based genres, they will invest more. And in terms of games, when Japanese games go abroad, like when they develop their business abroad, the cost of translation and exhibition and so on, the cost is big, right? So they want to support that. So that's good. Also, they were talking about here microchip stuff too. We have a TSMC, like a microchip company in my island, Kyushu Island, called Kumamoto Prefecture. They have a new factory there of Taiwanese TSMC. But now there is CMSC. The name is similar in English. CMSC. And we have Kyushu, like this is called Kyushu Island, and Kyushu University is there in my prefecture. So they can, the students can, experience what it's like to work at CMSC and so on, like the new, like a different company, I guess. And these are Taiwanese and South Korea also. They don't like to be left behind, so they are expecting that, or hoping that Japan and South Korea will work together for more business opportunities. So what this should tell you is that in East Asia, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, we are working together to make sure that our technology is protected, and also we have factories to boost the supplies and so on. So that's good, right? They're talking about US Steel here too, US Steel. But what I read was interesting. Not this article. I read somewhere that there are some criticism going on up to Japan, like inside Japan, that they have some kind of branch in America, and they should have, like, before the negotiation with the US still, they should have known the political side that it is now US Steel deal. It's a good deal for the company, but now it's politicized, right? Like, it's used in the election. But Japanese side should have seen that coming and prepared. They should have prepared for that. So yeah, man, it's interesting that China launching ICBM, and also recently China and Russia, what did they do? Russia came to our airspace, was it 3 times? Like once, but 3 times, I think. And it's really like very tense here around Japan, like Russia and both China. They're doing a lot of things. And it's really crazy. But the crazy part is that now China is launching missiles, so is North Korea, and Russia is coming in, and blah blah blah. But our leftists, who usually are anti-war, they're not criticizing those moves by those countries. Why? Because they love those countries. They say, like, Japan should not rebuild our army, and we shouldn't have nuclear weapons, and they talk stuff like that all the time, but they never say a word about North Korea or China or even Russia. And it's crazy. Japan. Trump doll. Yeah, Trump doll. Maybe you haven't seen it. Like a huge Trump, like up until here. Trump, like, it's a huge Trump, and it just they just went in they had a march in the city. Trump absolutely noticed the balloon. Which balloon? I liked them back then. The big Trump balloon of Japan is viral on social media. Is it a balloon? I don't think it's a balloon. Like, they were taking it, like, withdrawing. Metalocalypus. Isn't it the anime? Wait. I think that's the one that I was. Yeah, I used to watch that. Metalocalypus. They have this good coffee song. I'm just remembering it right now. Coffee. I also like the thunder song. Thunder. Limp Bizkit, Limpy Park, etc. Yeah, emo. No great, but still some nostalgia for the time. Yeah. Actually, back then, music was still music. People thought new metal was weird, but now it's actually cool. Like, the later generation can't surpass that. All they can do is just mix things up electronically, and they're not doing anything. Yep. Kumamoto Ken. Oh, Kumamoto is TSMC. Am I reading it right? Yeah, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. TSMC is in Kumamoto. And there's this new one that is trying to, I think they want to come to my prefecture, Fukuoka. I'm not sure, but we will see the development soon. I want to talk about this. I think Biden's talked about this. So Kishida is getting replaced now, right? Like he did so good. I didn't expect him to be this good as a prime minister, and I really like he has to leave not because of his term, like a time period, but because there was so much bashing against him, calling him like a tax increasing shitty glasses or whatever. Like really bad names. And it was actually not from the left side, it was from the right side. Some right wings were bashing him. And I have a feeling that among our right wing accounts on social media, I bet that Chinese accounts were there to separate us, because that's what China is good at. They always agitate us to get separated or divided. So they were probably agitating us to, get heated, to hate each other and attack Kishida, especially because he was doing so well in defense policies. And yeah, there are useful idiots. Like Japanese people are simply dumb. The many people online are actually dumb. Like I have to say that. They're just the majority of the Japanese right wingers on social media are over 60 years old, and a lot of them have retired, and thus they have the time to be on social media, and they are very opinionated. And also, like, as you grow older, your frontal cortex or whatever it's called, it shrinks or something, and like you can't think the same as before. You lose your patience and you get more emotional. Like, that's a scientific fact, and that's what they are happening. And they have social media and they have the time to complain, so they're very aggressive and emotional, and they attack everyone else but themselves. But anyway, so Kishida was bashed so much that now he has to resign as a prime minister. But the last visit to the United States was the last trip overseas for Kishida, and here Biden administration is evaluating Kishida highly, and they noted the 3 points. First is the increase of our defense budget, and by that, dramatically, like fundamentally changing our defense system. So that's something that Biden administration is praising. The second thing that they are praising is being on the same page on Russia-Ukraine war. With like we stand on the same page as America and Western nations. So Biden administration is evaluating that. The third thing is Japan-South Korea relation. Like it's improved now. So yeah, they are evaluating this highly, and I completely agree. And what's interesting about Ukraine is that it is actually now a global war, but it's because Japan, among Asia, Japan was the first to decide the sanctions against Russia and supported Ukraine. So Ukraine became globalized. How? Through Japan, through Kishida's decision. So, and Kishida was saying that, today's Ukraine could be tomorrow's East Asia. So the main thing is that this newspaper is saying, explaining that Kishida's recognition like this, like Ukraine today, but maybe tomorrow here, right? Kishida believes this, that Kishida believes that being not allowing the violation of Russia's violation of international laws is gonna be the deterrence of Taiwan emergency. That strategy. So that's the strategy that we have, and that's connected to that. And what's interesting about this is that, like, I saw this comment written here by the executives of foreign ministry saying that when they meet European officials, like high officials, Japan's support for Ukraine is actually for the deterrence against China. And we are asking them for their help and cooperation over here when that happens. Isn't that interesting? Because this is what I've been saying. And foreign ministry executives said the same thing. I bet I knew it, that we know that China and Russia are working closely, and also like that status quo, when it is changed by force like that in Ukraine, if we allow that, then that's an incentive to China, and also now like they are the same enemy groups, so we have to fight them. And European country are fighting, and we now Japan, all the way from Japan, we are helping, we are giving aids, money, and so forth, and fighting together. And we expect them to cooperate here as well when China's threat becomes real, So, I've been talking for over an hour. I should go. Let's see. So when Japanese are young, no debate. When Japanese are old, always debate, correct? You could put it that way, yes. That's so interesting, yeah. The thing is that you know how Japanese people work so hard? Like I'm different. I do this as my work. So your help is needed, Oh, burn up son, thank you. Speaking of which, thank you so much for your super chat. Extra Yoko hour super chat. Gotta be higher. Gotta be higher. I'm becoming more and more like, I don't know, demanding. But yeah, what was I saying? Super chat. Before super chat, what I was referring to, I forgot. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, so in Japan we have to work so hard, and usually people have kids, right? So they have to take care of their kids, and also they have to go to work, and they don't have time to think about other things than working to make a living together with raising their children. They don't have time, they're too busy. What I mean by, man, the plane is loud. When we work, our work culture is so crazy that you don't get to rest. You just don't have time, So like in the meantime that you work, you are young enough to work, like no time for anything else. And when you have time, you want to have fun, right? You don't want to go online and talk about politics, like nobody wants to do that. So but nowadays it's changing a little bit though, because now we have smartphones. Everybody has a phone, right? And they go online, and some people do look at some tweets and so on, but they don't have as much time as older people. So usually it's the old people that they're old enough to think about politics with a good I don't know if it's good, but like they have some like a certain amount of knowledge, and they have time, and they have the anger out of aging, and so that's what happens. Yes, the Japanese. I really think that though the Japanese young people, younger generations, have a lot of potentials, but it's just how our country is. You know, like we don't like to fight. We don't like to. I don't know. We are busy working. Blah blah blah. Anyway, extra higher extra Yoko hours per job. It is higher. It is higher. A little higher. It's gonna keep keep happening. Oh, good evening. Hello. Good morning, Yoko. Hello. I almost missed you. My friend's live stream was running late. Oh, did you see what the FBI agent testified to in the Congress yesterday and then quit? What? It certainly wasn't good. What? Why is that? Gotta look it up. FBI testimony. What is it about? This one? FBI whistleblower gives emotional testimony about highly inappropriate retaliation against him. Is this it? House committee pushes for FBI testimony on suppressed Hunter Biden laptop story. Ooh, juicy. Ooh. Can I open this? My laptop doesn't have enough power, so it's not working much. Let's see. Chairman Jordan penned a letter last Thursday acquired by the New York Post in which he requested a verbatim transcript from an anonymous FBI employee, the staff member of the FBI purportedly made significant contributions to the Bureau's initiative to silence factual information linked to Biden. Huh. That's a long letter. But it's about Hunter Biden. Huh. Interesting. Oh, a little higher extra Yoko hours. Yes! Yes! But did I see orange today? Oh, I did at the beginning. Okay. Okay, great. And 10. Yes, good. Thank you. I'm getting used to being spoiled. Thank you so much, though. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The agent said, arm yourself, get together with your neighbors, have extra food, and pray. Oh my gosh. What is happening? Is he serious? Seriously? Like, mission accomplished? Or is it? Oh, man. Huh. What's happening to the US? Man. If Trump does get elected, though, man, I think that the like false flag would happen. You know, some people will probably try to recreate the January 6th situation and then bash Trump again. That's an easy scenario to picture. Or maybe terrorism. Man, you guys need to be ready. It's almost October. Man, it's almost like a month before the election. Oh. I saw agent testifying on multiple sources all over YouTube yesterday and today. Wow, that's interesting. In Germany and France, prisoners are a group which is least likely to vote for patriotic parties. Yeah. Where is my husband? I think he went to get food because it's 5 p.m. and we are expected to have dinner at 5:30. We made stew the other day, but we ate that all in 2 days. So I have to make something. That will likely happen no matter who wins. Oh, it will be used to push new legislation. Yeah. It's like in America, it's always the fight is about freedom. Freedom. Man, I feel like I skipped a lot of comments today. Or maybe not. Okay. When it comes to our country, this is oh yeah. I want to introduce our news a little bit because the world is watching Ukraine, right? But China is like this whole Russian invasion to Ukraine or aggression to Ukraine is actually benefiting China, because China is always looked at before, especially during Trump administration. Trump did a great job to make the whole world look at China, But once he was out of the picture, like in a political, like official political picture, then Russia Putin took advantage of that and invaded to Ukraine, and Xi Jinping also is helping him, right? North Korea is now helping Putin and getting things in return, like technology as well. And in the meantime, Xi Jinping doesn't get blamed, because we are busy helping Ukraine, and China is kind of out of the picture as well. But if Trump comes back, now he will focus on China, and that's the expectation that I have. And I'm really hoping that Trump I hope that he'll actually listen to Zelensky when he met him. But that was interesting because he was so mad. Trump was mad at the Zelensky visiting this critical place, right? Like I didn't really follow that news, but like they were signing on the rockets and so on. Like I saw the video footage of that, but Trump got mad. But then they met, and the impression that I got from Trump was different from before, so that's good. That like they gave me relief, kind of. There's a certain amount of relief that I felt after watching that, So like I just remembered how good of a listener Trump is. So that's good. And I'm really hoping that Trump just doesn't have enough information, now that he doesn't have Shinzo Abe too. His bestie is was taken away from him. But once that he is back in the game, I think that he can listen to all the people that are surrounding him, and he can probably like internationally too. He can call other leaders as well. So yeah, hopefully he will show some understanding to the fight that we are having internationally. Yeah, but anyway, China. Let's see, Chinese Navy tailing the Japanese self-defense forces, and the whole navigation was watched by China. And this is about Taiwan Strait passing. So Japan passed through the Taiwan Strait for the first time, actually, because Japan always paid attention to what China might say or how they would react. So Japan was always like trying not to cause troubles, right? Even though it's where other ships like America are going through Taiwan Strait, you know. But Japan is overly sensitive. I mean, Japan is like, caring so too much about how China will react. They will just react the way they always do. But somehow Japan is like, we have the culture of not, like we have expressions like don't cause like big wave, or we have the tendency of this like not causing any change, or how do I translate that to English? Playing is safe. A don't rock the boat mentality. Avoid conflicts and troubles. Man, you can't really translate that. But yeah, like nothingness. We like the nothingness, so that's why Japan is like refraining from doing anything to stimulate China. But now we went through the Taiwan Strait, and followed by other ships like Australia and New Zealand. They went through Taiwan Strait as well. But the thing is that they watched the whole Japanese side, it seems. So our ship Sazanami went through Taiwan Strait, and after that, the Chinese Navy were tailing the ship, and probably they are very cautious about our move. But the thing is that China is expanding, and we are only doing a counter move, So yeah, but anyway, that's how things are here. Like Japan is really with Taiwan and Australia, South Korea, the US, like we are working together to protect ourselves, It's 5 p.m. sounds early for dinner. Yeah, my husband likes to do intermittent fasting. So he wants to eat early, and then he skips breakfast, and he eats around noon. And I eat dinner early. I eat some snack later. And then I have an earlier meal than him when I wake up. But yeah. Anyway. The videos from 3 days ago. During the last conflict between Ukraine and Russia, China bought a lot of farming land in Ukraine. Oh, that's bad. Appear strong when you are weak. That is China right now. You think? Oh, but Chinese submarine though. Submarine, sorry. Wrong pronunciation. Submarine sank. Right? They're new. Isn't it new? 中国 sweet. Actually, I should China newest nuclear-powered submarine sank earlier this year, U.S. officials said. China's newest nuclear-powered submarine sank pierside in the spring, and in the Chinese Navy tried to conceal the loss, according to two U.S. defense officials. Yeah, so they're new. It's supposed to be new and high technology, and they just sank. But it's nuclear powered, so what's the damage to the oceans? China was saying actually they banned the imports of Japanese sea products for a long time. And now they're lifting it though, because the Chinese guy killed this 10-year Japanese boy in China in a really horrible, atrocious way. Like his gut was coming out and so on. Really brutal. It is really hideous. And then China lifts up, like I guess they got rid of the it's not only Fukushima, but the entire sea products of Japan can be now imported to China. It's so stupid, but they do that. And where was I going with this? I forgot. But yeah, that's China. Oh yeah, so sea products, right? So they were saying, like, when in Fukushima we had the nuclear disaster, and after that we had all this like contaminated, what's the word, like really like the water out of the nuclear power plant place, and we had all the waters piled up there, right? Because we can't just release them or get rid of them, like we can't bury them, right? So because of the possibility of radiation, so we decided to release it into the ocean, but only after it is properly treated. And we passed all these phases, right, to treat it properly to a natural level. And IAEA and other countries, even China, came to see the process of how we do it, and we were releasing it. But China was like, they need a reason to get mad at Japan, right? So they banned the imports of sea products of Japan because we are releasing into the oceans. So they want to create the image that Japan is actually polluting the oceans and so on, and therefore they are not gonna buy our sea products. But now Chinese ship sunk in the middle of the oceans, so we should ban the imports of Chinese sea products, right? I don't know what happened to the submarine though, and it's interesting that they wanted to conceal. They always lie. At least our like a free world. We don't hide things. And it's easier for me because I work nights. I eat in the afternoon and then go to work, and then after work I go to bed. Ah, you don't eat at night after work? Aren't you hungry? Okay. Anyway, it's like 1 hour and a half. So I should go, guys. Did I talk about everything I was supposed to? I think so. By the way, when we did pass through Taiwan Strait, this was our front page of the newspaper. Japanese Self-Defense Forces ship for the first time went through Taiwan Strait, opposing to Chinese pressure, strengthening of Chinese pressure. Yes. And then on the other side here, also on the front page, Chinese ICBM landed in the Pacific Ocean. This is like a involvement. This is bad for the environment too. Like you see the map too here. You can see the map, right? Japan is here, and then like around here. Yeah. I didn't read this newspaper. This is from Thursday. What was I doing this week? Oh, I got on Voice of America. Voice of America. In Taiwanese language though. Yeah. So it was about this Chinese guy viciously murdering our 10-year-old in China. And I was sharing my angry voice. Yep. Man, it's a crazy time that American president will be replaced. Our prime minister is now getting replaced. And inside Japan, by the way, party leaders, LDP is changing their leader, our prime minister, right? And our another governing party, Komeito, is now their leader is getting replaced too. And by the way, his name is Ishii. We don't want them. We don't want him there because Komeito is pro-China. Hopefully not anymore, but probably the same as before in pro-China. And his name is Ishii. But anyway, new leader in Komeito. And Tamaki is the same. Our biggest opposition party, Constitutional Democratic Party, is it the name in English? Our biggest opposition party. They have a new leader. It's actually our former prime minister, Noda. He was the prime minister when Abe came to the second term and he won. They talked it out and they went into the election and the Democratic Party lost. But he was the Democratic Party at the time, like a head of the Democratic Party, and then they had an election. So the one of the dark times, dark 3 years, Noda was the head of the party, but he is again the leader. By the way, Ishiba is also like from a long time ago, so like we feel like we are going back in time because both represent the old times. But anyway, and then the Japanese Communist Party just got a new leader too. It's a female leader, and I was afraid that she would use the Japanese Communist Party. I thought that the new leader would take advantage of being a female. Like there's a way for females to appear or speak, but she is not using that. She is such a communist that she's speaking just like other male communist members. So like we don't have to worry about her. Like she can't attract ordinary people. But the interesting thing is that even though, especially Komeito, our governing party, and Japanese Communist Party, they didn't change their leader for such a long time, but now they're replaced. So are our LDP and also opposition party. So interesting time. But anyway, yeah, Ishiba. Yeah, a lot of Ishi. Yep. By the way, Ishi's Ishi. The first part represents stone, or could be rock too. But yeah, it's like my name is Stonewell. It's like a well made of stone. Stonewell. Anyway, I gotta go, yo. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I don't eat again until I wake up at 3 or 4 p.m. usually. Wow. That's good. Yeah, eating at night is the worst thing that you can do. But it is such a guilty pleasure, though. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I was rambling most of the time today, but that's what we are here for. I hope you guys sleep well or have a good day. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to my ramble until the end of this stream. Thank you. Yep. Yep. Please keep watching our cabinet, Google Japanese new cabinet members. Soon, maybe we will have an election. We don't know that though, but yeah. Okay. Thank you again. Good night. Nacht. I gotta say that with power. Nacht. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day or night. I'll see you in a week, okay? Come back again next week. Okay. Bye.